welcome back to Nerd Goblin Art. I'm Lula. Now, I'm going to have a go at doing coasters again today. I'm going to be using black, and it's like a seashell. My idea going from, I got these stickers. Yeah. Um, Big fan of Beetlejuice. So I thought, why not have some fun and make some coasters and use the stickers. Now I'm using just an epoxy resin, and I've used my resin mixer. I was hoping for some kind of like a crackle effect. So I've put in I'm just putting in a very thin clear coating in the bottom. Here we go. Just making sure it's moving around. Just using my heat gun to dispense of any bubbles. I haven't put the resin through my debubbler because I'm adding mica powders. I didn't really see the point. And I'm listing the mica powder in my description, and I'm very good at this, but I managed to. It kind of popped and kind of went everywhere. I don't think you can actually see it on the camera, but quite a few little bits went into the resin. I've got to learn to cover these things up, but I'm still learning with the camera, so there we go. So I'm just carefully taking some out. Obviously, this isn't the speed in which I am stirring. That is just slightly sped up. There we go. And I can see that it's the resin's kind of split in the bottom, so I've just added a little bit more because I just want to make sure that the bottom layer has a little covering. So this is the seashell. It's got a shimmer to it because it's a mica powder. It's a Let's Resin one, um, and it's got a nice tone to it. And I was thinking, with Beetlejuice, I was thinking of like the black and white. Um, but obviously it's like it's an off white. It's a seashell, so I thought it'd give like a cool tone because I've noticed before that it cures different. Like it's like a bit of a glowy effect. So I quite like that. There we go. So what I'm gonna do is put in a ring of the black, just like that. And then I'm gonna fill in the middle with the seashell. And I'm not too worried at all. Just fill it in like that. And scrape it in. And once again with I'll be putting in some green glitter. This is the non-sync from Intoresin. It is a gorgeous glitter. I gotta be very happy with it. You need very little. I mean very little. I wasn't sure if it was going to show up much in this because you pour it through the middle. But we'll see. Heat gun in again just to get rid of those bubbles. It's helping warm the resin up a little bit as well. A bit cold in the UK today, a little bit chilly. So I'm just going to pour this straight into the middle. I've tried to get it as central as possible, and I've just filled it as far as it'll go. But in hindsight, I wish that I'd left a little bit of space because these will be getting um, another layer later on once this is cured and I add the stickers. But there we go. I often don't think of these things afterwards. My voice is much better, by the way. Thank you for asking. Thank you for wondering. A little bit horsey. Less froggy now, more horsey. There you go. I've poured her in. And as the resin starts to warm and heat now, the centre will start pulling in to give an effect. And hopefully there'll be some nice striations. So messy. Look, I've dripped it around the sides and just... and obviously my mould is from Moulds and Shapes. And again, I will link that in the description. And I have said this before. My desk should be level, but some molds just don't seem to like it. So I can see on the where I'm poking right now, I can see like it's just sitting quite high on the ledge. So I'm just propping it up a little bit with some lollipop sticks, just because I don't want it to move over, suddenly start moving over, and to give it more of a obviously more level. And we love lollipop sticks. So I'm just checking it and just making sure. And I could see there that I could tell. And again, I missed. How did you miss a huge? Oh, I tell you, me, it's just me and my eyes. There we go. I'm impressed I didn't manage to knock that one over. There we go. I love resin. Oh, with the stickiness. Sticky, sticky, sticky. So sticky. So what I'm doing now is obviously I'm using my heat gun to get rid of any potential bubbles. I'm not actually using it on the highest setting either. And it does really well for popping the bubbles. And a little squirt of isopropyl. There we go. So I do have some resin left over. If you hear trotting, that was my dog. Just decided to come trotting into the living room. Right, so while we're waiting, I just, this hairs again, you know this by now. I've said a few times, I have cats and it just floats everywhere. I did overestimate the amount of resin that was needed again today. So I was just I'm just squirting some isopropyl into this. I got this little mold from Temu, just a little extra thing, just to bring my cat up to 15. Not used it, I don't believe. So I'm just getting the last scrapings, waste not, want not, and all that. Just to pop into that little mold. It's like a flower trinket bowl, and I'm just putting in a little bit. Say little bit, just putting quite a bit, didn't I? That's again the Intoresin non-sync. In the black, it gives it looks like quite a goldy type color. And there you go. Oops. Give a chance to go down, but I'm impressed with how quick I reacted to that because I looked, I was like, ah, I got a bit covered over there. I would love it if you could like and subscribe to my channel. And it's gonna, really help with me being able to get more content, and I enjoy doing this. There we go. So I'm just popping the lollipop stick down there to get any bubbles up, and popping some more in. There we go. Sticky, sticky. In that. At this point, I decided to use my dotting tool and just swirl it in a little bit. It was either that or I was going to be getting, I was going to contemplate pulling out from the centre a bit of the resin to try and help close it up. Yeah, this is me again. I'm trying to find the specific mold I want to use, my shell mold. This is a little shell. It's like a little trinket dish, and they're good, really sweet. I've made a couple, and I use them myself. So I'm realizing that I don't have quite enough, but knowing that I'm going to be doing another layer later on. No, not wasting a single drop. I knew that I could always top up any little extra bits for the shell later. But I was just trying to get and use as much of the residue as possible. It is scraping. It's expensive. There we go. And I'm just picking up my other. You'd be amazed that when you put your cups down, when you've set them aside, and when you look back in them, you'll be amazed at how much resin will have sat on the sides and dripped down to the bottom. So it's really useful just to tack them on the side, and then you can scrape all the extra bits out. So there we go. So this is later. I had them on the heat mat. I turned my heat mat on after about an hour. So I'm really pleased with that. And I've got to be honest with you, I debated in my head because, I do pause the video a few times because my 21-year-old had popped in and was talking to me while I was filming this. And I was really confident. I was like, should I put the stickers on here? I quite like this. But no, I debated more. So I pulled the stickers out and I have trimmed the edges. They had like a white border. So I just had a quick snip around the border because I didn't think it needed it. I thought it would take away from the coaster itself. So there we go. I'm using the same resin again, but because I'm only doing a small amount for obviously topping on these coasters, I'm just using my handheld mixer. Um, I did go to put it in my degasser, but I thought, don't need to. It's a really thin layer I'm going to be doing, and I can use like my long neck lighter anyway. And after a little while, it does disperse. It's the bubbles, themselves. That's part of it anyway. So I'm going to add, I believe, a green glitter again to this mix to give it a nice sparkle. There we go. So I'm just taking the backings off using my trusty knife. Even without my gloves, and I don't have nails. I cut my nails really short, so I would have needed to use something to peel them. So I was happy with the position. I'd already, moved them around and looked at where I wanted the stickers to live. I do love stickers. Who doesn't love stickers? I do love a sticker. There we go. And I'm really looking forward to the new Beetlejuice movie coming out now. I think in September. But I really do love the original. I we 3D print sandworms. I paint them quite often, and I've also painted the sandworm quite a few times. It's just fun film, nostalgia as well, I think. So I'm happy with where I've positioned them. There you go. I'm just showing you a bit more up close. So I'm using the green glitter. Once again, this is Intoresin. I'm just really pleased with this glitter. Very fine, delicate, and it's not in your face, but you can see it, and it was really pretty. Works really well. So, yeah, waiting for me to mix it in again. Excuse me. So I'm just gently putting a small amount on and using my silicone tool just to tease it out and around to the edges. You could, I could have used UV resin to top it, and it probably would have been a lot quicker. But using this particular resin, it heat proof. I don't know. I don't think UV resin will do the same thing, and I prefer because they are coasters. I do prefer the fact that they are, heat resist or heat proof, scratch resistant, and this particular resin is also food safe. So there we go. There's my long neck lighter. I didn't want to use obviously my heat gun at this point because I would end up dislodging the resin. I don't want it going flying down the sides and all over my mat. And then onto the Beetlejuice one. There we go. And again, just gently encouraging the resin to move to where I want it to. I do actually want to do a frog. It's Beetlejuice inspired, like sandworm inspired. And I have had an idea of, I got some 3D prints of the sandworm. And I was thinking I could paint him up and put him inside a skull. That would be cool. So watch this space, it's all good fun. Love doing nerdy things. There we go. Getting rid of those bubbles. There weren't actually a lot of bubbles, to be honest. So I was able to use that last bit to top up that little trinket, shell trinket. There we go. And I do babysit them for a few good 10 to 20 minutes just to make sure that the resin doesn't start trying to overflow and escape down the sides. There's nothing worse than coming back to a puddle. When I first started using resin on artworks that I do, that happened. It was devastating. So there we go. So I'll be leaving that there. And laser and we're cured. And look at those. Woo! Really chuffed. I did wonder about putting the stickers on, but actually really, really pleased with these. I think they're fun. They're different. It's not something you're always going to see, you know. And with the new film coming out soon, point of interest. So here's my little trinket. It's a really cute little mould, actually. Again, I think this one's from Timu. You know, I really nice. And with the there's like the goldy type glitter in there, so it looks quite fancy. Not usually colours that I would do. Now this mould is a strange one. It really is. Because as you see when I take it out, it doesn't look, I don't know. It's beautifully good. It isn't soft at all. Yeah, always put your moulds back into shape. But it doesn't. It just it's not even. It's yeah. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of that mold. But look at these. I am so pleased with them. I think they're unique. Super fun. I really enjoyed making them. And a bit different. So it's the first time I've done something like this with coasters as well. So there's your pictures or your glamour shots. Oh, I think it's cool. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. Love you. Stay weird.